everyone on this sultry June evening. So tonight, this is a vinyasa class, and by nature, vinyasa tends to stir up the heat and the fire in the body. So tonight we're going to focus on trying to keep that fire somewhat at bay. We'll still get maybe a little bit warm, but we'll try to balance that out with some water and some grounding. So with that said, we'll actually start lying on your back. So coming into a supine position on your back. And if you're ready to go right into Shavasana here for a short little Shavasana, feel free. If your body feels like it needs some movement before you're ready to start to settle into stillness, go ahead and windshield wiper your knees. Maybe bring your knees into your chest, stretching out your low back. Finding any movement or stretching that you need to for a few moments before you settle into your Shavasana. We'll take a couple deep breaths here, helping to slow down the breath, to slow down the mind. So in through the nose and out through the mouth, letting any excess heat that you already have in your body, letting that go on the exhale. We'll take a couple more of those deep breaths, allowing your entire body to settle into stillness on each exhale. Two more of these deep grounding breaths. One more deep breath. Allowing your body to rest on the ground. And starting at the top of your head, taking a body scan, feeling what parts of your body are connected with the ground right now. So starting with the back of your head, moving down to the curve of your neck, feeling where do you feel ground, where do you feel air on the back of your body. Moving from the curve of your neck down to your shoulder blades, your upper back. Moving down the lengths of your arms to your elbows, your hands. Back to your mid-back, moving through the lumbar curve, the small of your back, the sacrum, the hips, the buttocks, backs of the thighs, the knees. Where do you feel ground? Where do you feel air? Backs of the calves and the heels. Taking another couple deep grounding breaths here, feeling that connection with the ground. Feeling your spine in its natural curves. Some places the body touching the ground, and some places the body naturally curving up away from the ground. And then slowly bend one knee at a time, bringing the soles of your feet to the mat. And the feet are about mat distance apart. And now feeling just this small change in position, noticing where do you feel the ground beneath your body now? Where do you feel that connection? Bringing your palms of your hands to the front of your hips, maybe feeling the hip bones in the front of the pelvis. Focusing on the pelvic bowl. Right now, it's probably in its neutral position. That lower lumbar curve is gently curving up and away from the ground. And now drawing your attention to your abdominals, muscles in your belly. Go ahead and begin to scoop the belly, beginning to flatten that lumbar curve towards the mat, keeping your buttocks relaxed, your feet, your legs relaxed. All of the engagements happening in your abdominal muscles, and feeling how your pelvis is now tilting ever so lightly. And then go ahead and release, coming back to a neutral pelvis. We'll do this a couple more times. So it's a super small movement. If you're familiar with Fallon's somatic class where she does the arch and flatten, it's kind of like that. So on your next exhale, begin to gently squeeze the abdominals, flatten that lumbar curve towards the mat. Inhale, release, and exhale. Scoop the belly, imprint the pelvis, just a little pelvis tilt. And now we're gonna hold here. And feeling this engagement in your abdominals, noticing with the front of the body tight, engaged, what do you feel in the back of the body? In the area of your lumbar spine, your sacrum? Do you feel any sense of broadening across that lower pelvic area? And just noticing here, there's no right or wrong answer, there's no judgment, just noticing. And then gently go ahead and come back to a neutral pelvis. We'll draw the right knee in towards the chest. And if you want to keep your left leg bent, you can keep it right where it is, or you can extend the left leg out on the mat as you draw the right knee in, pressing that knee up into maybe towards the shoulder, the armpit. And then using your hands as a guide, go ahead and start taking some some hip circles with your right hip. So drawing that knee in a circular fashion, feeling the rotation in that ball and socket joint of your hip. Making as big or small circles as you like right now. And then we'll change the direction of the hip circles. Exploring the mobility of your right hip. All right, the next time you come back up that knee into center, go ahead and bring the right foot to the mat and draw the left knee in, choosing whether you want to keep your right leg bent or if you want to extend your right leg out on the mat. Stretching the left knee in towards the left armpit, the left shoulder. Feeling the connection with your lower back down to the mat. And then finding those hip circles with the left leg. Hands can be there for some guidance, some assistance. And taking a few circles in one direction. And then changing the direction of your circles. Exploring the mobility in this hip. All right, let's draw both knees in towards the chest. And like we did before, you think about starting to engage the belly. So you can start to press that lower back down into the mat. Feel the sacrum, the lower back broadening into the mat. And then from here, let's go ahead and bring the ankles so they're above the knees, moving into a happy baby shape. So either hands coming around the outside edges of each foot, or bringing the peace fingers to the big toes, finding your happy baby pose here. On your next exhale, begin to engage the belly, and then press the inside arches of your feet to the sky and the outer edges of your feet down. Feel that broadening across the back of your pelvis. Feel the connection with the earth. then gently release out of the happy baby, bringing the feet and the knees together. Hands come to the tops of the knees. The belly is scooping, so the abdominals are engaged. The pelvis is imprinting down to the floor, feeling that strong engagement in the front of the body and feeling how this helps to relax the back and that lumbar area. And then go ahead, draw the knees into the chest one more time. Rock it out side to side, massaging out that lower back area of the pelvis, the hips. And then we'll rock on up, or you can roll to your side, coming to a seated position on your mat. So coming to seated, we'll be here for just a couple breaths. So now changing the position, once again, connecting with the earth. Where do you feel the connection with the ground? And then bringing your attention to your pelvis, the area of your pelvic bowl. And imagining that there is a bowl of water located in your pelvis. And right now that bowl of water is in a neutral position. The water is still. Being held in the area of your pelvis. And with this pelvis awareness, let's go ahead and reach the arms out. We'll come into a tabletop position. So connecting with the earth here, the hands, the knees, the tops of the feet, neutral spine, neutral pelvis to begin as we move into our cat-cow series. On the inhale, leading with the pelvis. So the pelvis tips first, and then you round through the mid-spine. The chin is the last to look up. And then on the exhale, again, leading with the pelvis, tucking the tailbone, rounding through the length of your spine. The chin is the last to come towards the throat. Inhale, find your cow pose. And the exhale takes you into cat. So letting the pelvis lead the movement here. And like waves of water moving through your spine as that pelvis tips one way and then the other. Feeling the water of that pelvic bowl lubricating the entire spine all the way into the neck. All right, one more round of these flowing cat-cows. And then coming into a neutral tabletop once more. Let's extend the left leg out. I'm going to turn, so if you want to watch me. So we're going to come into a table gate position. So go ahead and extend your right leg out to the side. So the foot is on the mat. The foot is parallel with your standing knee. And then from this position, begin to shift the weight into your left hand. So you can reach your right hand forward, lengthen through your spine. On the exhale, begin to swoop that arm up, coming into a revolved table gate position. And then on the inhale, swoop that hand back down, reaching out towards the top of your mat, long spine. Exhale, find the revolved. So as you continue moving through this flow with your pace of breath, I want you to think about your pelvis. As you come into that twist, are you moving that pelvis out of its neutral position, or are you twisting more from your mid and upper spine? So this is an awareness. If it feels good to change your pelvic position as you twist, I welcome you to do that. But explore here. Notice how keeping that pelvis more in neutral changes the feeling of the twist. We'll do just a couple more of these. Good. All right, as you are finished, go ahead and bring both hands back to tabletop. Both knees come into neutral tabletop. And then we'll take it to the opposite side. So now the left leg extends out parallel toward your body or perpendicular to your body. Pressing down through the right hand. Inhale, the left arm reaches out long through the spine. And then as you exhale, swoop that hand up, coming into the twist. Inhale, swoop the arm down and forward again. Moving through this with your breath, noticing where is your pelvis positioned as you move through these two positions. Where do you feel the twist in your body if your pelvis stays in its neutral position? Couple more on this side. And next time your hand is towards the earth, go ahead and find your way back to your neutral tabletop again. Coming into neutral, and then either moving through some cat-cows or some torso circles. So finding whatever movement feels good here to help continue stretching out the spine. Maybe wagging your tail, circling out the hips. And then we'll all meet in neutral tabletop. On your next inhale, let's find cat. So lift the tailbone up to the sky. Keep that cat or the cow tilt. Keep that cow tilt as you curl the toes under. Exhale, lift the hips up and back into bent leg, downward facing dog. Holding and breathing here. Couple breaths, stretching out the arms, the back. And then as you're ready, beginning to extend the legs, maybe pedaling out the feet, opening up the backs of the hamstrings. And then let's come into a neutral downward facing dog, a still downward facing dog. So that pelvis is tilted like it would be in a cow pose. And on your next exhale, begin to draw the belly in. Keep those abdominals engaged. Notice, how does this affect the back of your sacrum, the back of your lower back region? One more deep inhale and exhale. And now as you inhale, like a rolling wave, lifting up on the balls of your feet, rolling wave through the spine, coming into, flowing through plank, and then finding an upward facing dog. Knees can stay lifted, the knees can find the mat. Tops of the feet to the mat. Straighten through the arms, come into the back bend. Knees lower if they are raised off the mat. Moving back through plank and now tucking your chin. So now the upper part of the body is going to lead. So cobra hood, pressing up through the shoulder blades, rolling wave through the spine. And the pelvis is last to move into down dog. We'll do this a couple more times. On your inhale, lift up on the balls of the feet. Begin to tilt your pelvis, coming into that cobra hood with the shoulder blades. And then as you inhale, transitioning into your upward facing dog. Go ahead and flow on back, downward facing dog, so like a rolling wave. The inhales and the exhales take you between down dog and upward facing dog. Exploring here. Feeling the movement of the pelvis flowing between these poses. We'll go ahead and take one more. If you're ready for a child's pose, feel free to take a child's pose. So we'll find stillness either in dog, downward facing dog, or child's pose. And again, connect with the earth. One more breath. On your next inhale, go ahead and find your way into downward facing dog if you're not already there. And then look forward at your hands, walking to the top of the mat. Coming into a half forward fold, bent knees,
Long, straight spine. Exhale, find your forward fold, hanging out here for a couple of breaths. Releasing the weight of your head, the weight of your shoulders. On your next inhale, find your flat back. We're going to hold the flat back, half forward fold for a couple breaths. As you exhale, engage your belly. Keep the abdominals engaged. Feel that spaciousness across the back of the lower back region. One more deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, drop back into your forward fold. Let that water in the pelvic bowl spill down out of the pelvic bowl, all the way down through your spine, out through the top of the head. Cooling, nourishing water. Deepening the bend in your knees. Inhale, rolling yourself all the way up to standing. Finding mountain pose at the top of your mat. As you're ready, inhale, the arms reach up to the sky. Go ahead and find the right fingers around your left wrist. And then as you exhale, find a side lean to the right. Inhale, back up to center. Change the position of your hands. Exhale to the second side, side bend. Inhale, center. We'll do one more to each side. So as you exhale, find the side bend. Go ahead and hold here for a couple breaths. So in traditional Chinese medicine, the sides of the body are like big vents. So as we move through a vinyasa and we open up the side bodies, I want you to imagine that any excess heat is spilling out through those side vents in your side body. On your next inhale, come back up to center. Change the position of your hands and exhale, find the second side bend. Open through the side body, let the heat escape. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, find cactus arms. And inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, arms to your sides. So we're going to go through Sun A. We're going to take our time. We're going to really focus on the pelvis today, the pelvic bowl. So right now the pelvis is in neutral. Arms are at your sides. As you inhale, find your upward salute. Pelvis stays in neutral. And as you exhale, as you swan dive down, the movement starts with the pelvis. The pelvis begins to tilt forward, coming into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen, broaden the sacrum. And then exhale, hands connect with the earth. Inhale, stepping back to plank. Your choice, knees lifted or knees down. Exhale, bending the elbows just a little bit into chaturanga. Inhale, find upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. We'll take 2 breaths in this downward facing dog. Feeling the belly engaging to help keep the lower back open, spacious. Begin to look forward at your hands. Walk, step, or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. And now as you inhale, the pelvis is leading. So the pelvis is what helps lift you all the way back up to upward salute. And exhale, mountain. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, tip the pelvis, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands come to the earth. Inhale, step back to plank. Getting set up for chaturanga, or maybe skipping the chaturanga. Chaturanga is a choice. On your inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. 2 breaths in this down dog. Look forward at your hands. Walk, step, or hop, top of the mat. Inhale, find your flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, leading with the hips, the pelvis, all the way up to absolute. And exhale, mountain. 2 breaths in mountain pose. All right, sun salutation L modified. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands come to the mat. Inhale, the right foot steps back, coming into a runner's lunge. The back knee drops to the mat. Option of keeping the hands on the floor, or as you inhale, hands come up to the knee. If you feel like you want to extend your arms up towards the sky, feel free. We're going to hang out here for 2 breaths. Think about your pelvis. Your pelvis is square. So you've got both hips the same distance, hip bones the same distance to the front of your mat. So you're going to draw the front thigh back and the back thigh forward. Square, neutral pelvis. One more deep inhale. Exhale, hands to the earth. Plant down to the right hand. So as you inhale, revolve to the left. Keep that pelvis in neutral as best you can. Exhale, both hands to the mat. Inhale, lift up the back knee. Exhale, step that foot forward, coming into a flat back. Your choice, either hands come behind the back or hands stay on the floor. And exhale, find your forward fold. Inhale, begin to bend the knees, the hands swoop down and up to the front into chair pose. Exhale, deepen. We're going to hang out here for a couple of breaths. Arms can stay extended, or you can bring the hands into your heart center, maybe even bringing your hands to your hip bones once again. As you exhale, think about engaging the belly, really flatten, feel the back of your body, the back of your hips become spacious and broad. One more breath. Inhale, stand all the way up, and exhale, mountain. Left side leads. Inhale, up salute. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands come down. Step your left foot back, coming into your low lunge. Back knee releases to the mat. On your next inhale choice, maybe bringing the hands up to the knee, maybe extending the arms above your head. Holding here for a couple of breaths. Squaring off the hips. So even bringing your hands to your hip bones and feeling, okay, are my hips square, or is one hip jutting in front of the other one? On your next exhale, hands come to the mat. Press down through the left hand, connecting with the ground. Go ahead and reach it up, revolve. Pelvis stays neutral as best you can. So feeling this more in the belly, the upper back. One more inhale, exhale, hands to the mat. Curl the back toes, inhale, lift the back knee. Exhale, step it forward. Setting up for your forward fold, hands on the ground or hands interlaced behind your back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, begin to rise up to chair pose. Keep that belly engaged. Tight through the front of the body, soft in the back. Inhale, stand all the way up. And exhale, mountain. Beautiful. Let's do that one more time, a little bit faster. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, tip the pelvis into forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands come down. Step the right foot back. Low lunge, your choice of arms on the inhale. Exhale, hands float down. Inhale, revolve. Exhale, hands to the earth. Inhale, step the back foot forward. Forward fold, your choice of arms. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, begin to lift yourself up so that strong, neutral pelvis, belly engaged. Exhale, sink down. Inhale, stand all the way up. And exhale, mountain. Last time on the left side. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back, broad in the sacrum. Exhale, step the left foot back, low lunge. Inhale, your choice of arms. Exhale, hands to the ground. Inhale, revolve. Exhale, hands to the ground. Inhale, step the back foot forward, setting up for forward fold. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Up to chair. I almost forgot. Exhale, sink down. Inhale, stand all the way up. And exhale, mountain. Good. Hands to your hip bones here. Feel the neutral squareness of your hips. We'll take 2 more breaths here. Let the water in your pelvic bowl start to find a stillness so it's not sloshing around from all that movement. All right. Next vinyasa, inhale, upward salute. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands come down. Inhale, step back to plank, moving through chaturanga up dog, or as you exhale, pressing yourself right back to down dog, yogi choice. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. Engage the belly. Feel the broadening across the back of the pelvis, the sacrum. Connection with the ground. Begin to shift the weight into your left foot. So as you inhale, the right leg reaches up to the sky. Bending the right knee. As you exhale, stack the hips. Coming into a twisted 3-legged dog. Circling out your ankle. Enjoying the stretch in the top hip flexors. Inhale, bring the hips back to square. And then as you exhale, step that right foot forward. Inhale, spin the back heel down. Exhale, ground down through the feet and the hands. And then as you inhale, come up to warrior 1. Your choice of arms. If you want to have your hands on your hips, I welcome you to do that. And then square off those hips. So draw the front thigh bone back and the back thigh bone forward. Feel that neutral pelvis, the water starting to settle down. All right, from here, one more deep inhale. And then as you exhale, turn into warrior 2. Settle into your warrior 2. Notice where is your pelvis located here. What micro adjustments do you need to make this a feel-good position? One more deep inhale and exhale, settle into the warrior 2. And then the top hand turns towards the sky as you inhale, find reverse warrior. Opening up the side bend. Letting that heat escape. One more inhale, really open up that right side body. And then as you exhale, windmill the arms, find your extended side angle. So now opening up the vents on the second side, but still keeping the right side long. Breathe. On your next inhale, windmill yourself all the way back up to reverse warrior. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, find warrior 1. Exhale, coming onto the ball of the back foot, so into a crescent lunge. Hands come to the hips here. So let's find those hip bones again. Neutral pelvis, square hips. Deep inhale, and then as you exhale, begin to hinge yourself forward. Finding warrior 3, so maybe tipping those, tiptoeing those that back foot up closer to you. Keeping the pelvis, the hips square. As you slowly come into your warrior 3. We won't be here for very long, but keep that pelvis square. On your next inhale, slowly come up to a one-legged standing balance. Left knee comes in front. Hips are square here. So there's a tendency, at least for me, to want to lift that knee up high, but then the hips get out of whack. So keep those hips square. And then from here, we're gonna find tree pose. So either foot to the inside of the thigh, inside of the calf, or down at the ankle, your choice. Hips stay square, so that neutral pelvis position. So find your balancing point here. Hips or hands can stay on the hips, or you can begin to find whatever arm, hand position you like to today. But really think about that pelvis being your center of gravity. And keeping that bowl of water still. Still, calm water. And breathe. Take 2 more breaths on this side. Slowly bring the knee back to the front. We're going to step back into crescent. And the connection with the earth, both feet. Hands come to the mat. Step back to plank as you inhale. Optional chaturanga up dog, or we'll all meet in downward facing dog. Connect with the ground in your down dog. Belly engaged, sacrum is broad. All right, placing the weight into your right foot. Inhale the left leg up high. Exhale, bend the knee, stack the hips. Find that hip opening stretch, circling out your ankle. Keep breathing. Inhale, square off the hips. Exhale, step the left foot forward towards the hands. Inhale, the back heel spins down. Exhale, ground down through the feet into the earth. Inhale, rise, find your warrior one. Your choice of hands, your choice of arms. Maybe on the hips, maybe extended skyward. Taking care of paying attention to where is my pelvis located right now? What's going on down there? Feeling the water calming down. One more deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, turn to the side of the mat, warrior two. Noticing what is your pelvis doing in this position? Front hand tips towards the sky. Inhale, find your reverse warrior. Open up the side vents. Let the heat escape. One more inhale. Really reach out through that top arm. And then as you exhale, keeping all that length, find your extended side angle. So now stretching open the other vents on the second side, but still keeping your first side long, open. One more breath. Inhale, windmill yourself all the way back up to reverse warrior. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, find the crescent, hands on the hips. Begin to hinge yourself forward. So keeping the hips neutral. Finding your center of gravity in your pelvic area, the sacrum. And then stepping that back foot back as you need. Keeping the hips square, finding warrior three. Just for a moment as a transition. Hips stay square as you pivot yourself up to one leg standing balance. Bringing that knee out in front of you. Finding that calm, still water in your pelvis. And then as you're ready, coming into tree pose on this side. Bring the hips, your center of gravity. Choosing your arm position.
in this warrior, or in this tree pose. And breathing. Breathing into that bowl of water, the sacral region. Slowly begin to bring that knee in front of you again. And then as you're ready, stepping back into crescent pose. Hands come to the earth. And then option here for chaturanga up dog, or going right into downward facing dog. Find the breath. Engage the belly, broaden the sacrum. On your next inhale, knees come to tabletop. Go ahead and take a child's. Connecting with the ground again, feeling the stretch across the spine, that lower back area. And breathe. We'll be here just for another breath or so. Go ahead and engage your arms so you can bring yourself up to seated, either coming into a thunderbolt, or if you would like to take a cross-legged seated position now, that's another option as well. So coming into whatever comfortable seat feels good right now. We'll practice some cooling pranayama, some breathing techniques. So this first one is called Sitkari, and basically it's inhaling through your teeth. So you'll inhale through your closed teeth. You'll open up your lips a little bit. And then exhale through the nostrils. Inhale through your closed teeth. And exhale through the nostrils. So as you continue practicing the Sitkari pranayama breath, noticing how the temperature of the air is maybe a little cooler as you take it in through the teeth and through the mouth versus inhaling through the nose. And then there's one other one I'd like to share with you, and this one's called Sitali. And with this one, you'll open up your, kind of make a little O with your mouth, and then your tongue will stick out. So your tongue will be like in the shape of a U. And your tongue will probably stick out maybe like 3/4 of an inch or so. And then you inhale through your rolled tongue, and then that air moves across your tongue, and it's a cooling breath as well. And then exhale through the nose. Open your mouth a little bit, curl the tongue into a U, inhale through the tongue, through the mouth. And exhale through the nose. So choosing which of these you like best right now. And if you're doing the second option, the one with the curled or the rolled tongue, you imagine you're like sipping through sipping a cool drink through a straw. We'll do a couple more of these. You're probably wishing I would have told you these earlier during our practice. You could have been doing them during vinyasa. All right, go ahead and release that pranayama. Just take a couple deep normal breaths. In through the nose and out through the nose. And noticing the temperature, how it feels different when you're breathing in through your nose versus through the mouth. All right, let's come on to a seated position on the mat. You could bring actually we'll come into a cross-legged position to start. So we're going to do some hip openers as we're focusing on that sacral pelvic region. So we'll start with the fire log. We'll start with the left leg. So actually we'll bring the right leg so it's about parallel to the front of your mat. And then that left leg, sometimes it's helpful to bring it into a baby cradle. So if you hook your arm around the top of the knee, and then the other arm comes around. You can kind of help open up that hip, coming into a place like you're rocking a baby. So again, feeling that mobility in the left hip. And then as you're ready, lay your baby down on top of the shin that's resting on the earth. So coming into a position where the shins are parallel, both shins parallel to the top of the mat. We'll hang out here for a couple breaths and noticing, so whichever leg is on top, noticing that sensation in the hip joint. Sit up tall. If you want to practice one of those cooling breaths again, you can. One more breath here in this fire log shape. Good. All right, from here, let's draw that top foot so it's on the outside of the bottom knee. So we're coming into getting set up for a twist. If it's uncomfortable to have both of your knees bent, you can always extend the bottom leg and then either have the top knee crossed over the bottom thigh or bring that foot into the inside of the thigh. So finding a place where your pelvis, that pelvic bowl, is in a neutral position. Hips are square. And then whichever leg is on top, you can go ahead and bring that arm to the back, like a kickstand. Deep inhale, sit up tall, and then as you exhale, begin to twist towards the back shoulder. And sometimes in a twist like this, I find it helpful, especially if my SI joints are bothering me, is I bring the heel of the back hand and actually press it into the sacrum a little bit to help bring that neutral position so that you're twisting more out of the waist, the mid to upper back versus the low back. One more breath in this twist. And then from here, slowly come back through center. Now, if you change your leg positions from having both knees bent, go ahead and bring that left leg back into that fire log position. And we're going to come into a pigeon. If you know pigeon pose is not good for your body right now, if you want to come into the reclined version, that's another option. We'll be here for a while, so you have plenty of time to come onto your back if you would like to take the reclined version of pigeon. And another tip here, if you have a towel or a blanket handy, when you do come into the pigeon pose, it's really common for the pelvis to become on-centered. I'm trying to figure out which way to. So a lot of times you'll end up kind of being pitched over to one side. If you take your towel or blanket and prop it underneath the hip, so whichever leg is in front, it can help balance out the hips, balance the pelvis to give you more support for that hip opening. If you're feeling this at all in the knees, please adjust. The intent here, it's all about the hips. Allow yourself to settle into this. The bowl of water is still, calm. And that nurturing water is nourishing, lubricating the hip joints. Slow, deep breath in, and then a long breath out.
2 more slow breaths. And then slowly release out of your pigeon. If you took the reclined version on your back, go ahead and come back to a seated position. And then we're going to go through those same poses. Actually, let's come back. Let's come into a down dog, either a down dog or a child's, whichever you like. Take a little bit of time to reset. And then we'll do those same poses, but we'll do them in the opposite order on the second side. So whichever leg was in front, then you did pigeon. And when you're ready, after you've reset your body, you can go ahead and draw the opposite leg to the front and take pigeon to the second side. And if you want to take the reclined version, you have plenty of time to take the reclined version of pigeon. Squaring off the hips as best you can. Keeping that sacral region, especially the SI joints where the sacrum and the hip bones meet, right above your tailbone area. Breathe in and into that bowl of water. Let that water nourish the hip. Take one more deep inhale and slow exhale on this side. And as you're ready, begin to draw yourself up out of the pigeon pose and then coming into that twist. So whichever shape you took on the first side, I'd recommend you would do something similar on this side. So the knees bent, or maybe the bottom leg extended out on the mat. And finding that square pelvis, neutral hips, square hips. Whichever leg is on top, the hand on that side comes behind you, sit up tall. And then as you exhale, twist towards the back shoulder. Adding the base of your hand, that back hand to the sacrum, if that helps you keep that position, that neutral position for your sacrum. Slowly release, coming back to center. And then we'll take fire log on this side. So whichever leg is on top, you'll want to keep that one on top. So the opposite shin comes parallel to the front of the mat. If it helps you to take that baby cradle with the top shin. And then as you're ready, place the top shin on top of the bottom shin. I welcome you to place the palms of your hands on the bottom soles of your feet. So the right hand's touching the left foot and the left hand is touching the right foot. And then from here, gently release. Keep the knees bent, the soles of the feet come to the mat. And prepare to roll on down to the back, onto the mat. So with the hands behind your thighs, you can gently begin to release yourself down. And here, really think about keeping your abdominals engaged And really find that space, that broadening across the back of your hips, the sacrum, as you roll yourself down, using the arms, the hands as an aid as you need. And then releasing all the way back down the shoulder blades, back of the head. Now let's draw one knee in at a time into the chest. And go ahead and find that happy baby position like we did at the beginning of class. The inside arches of the feet, inner edges reaching up to the sky, pulling the little toe side of the foot down to the earth and feeling how that affects your sacral region, your low back. You're welcome to stay right here in this happy baby pose until we move into Shavasana. Or if there's any other pose that you're craving right now, feel free to take that before Shavasana. So yogi choice time. We'll take a couple more rounds of breath in yogi choice pose. And then you can go ahead and begin to make your way into your Shavasana pose. And so coming into Shavasana, finding whatever variation feels good right now. Give yourself a couple of deep breaths. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Two more of these deep, slow breaths. In the nose, out through the mouth, letting go. Inhale, receive the breath. And on the exhale, let it go. Letting go of the weight of your body into the ground. Reconnecting once again, feeling what parts of your body are connected with the ground right now. Drawing your attention to the area of your pelvis, the pelvic bowl, and imagining there's a beautiful orange colored basin located in your pelvis. And this orange basin is filled with water. Each time you take an in-breath, you can feel that water filling in the basin. And then on the exhale, the water begins to flow over the brim of the basin and it flows everywhere in your body. Inhale, breathing water into the basin. And on the exhale, the water runs over the top of the basin, flowing everywhere in your body that needs cooling, that needs calm. Continuing to breathe, fill the basin with water. And on the exhale, send that nourishing, cooling, calming water everywhere you need it. As you rest here in this calm, cool peace.
Begin to deepen your breath. Beginning to feel the water in the orange basin beginning to ripple, beginning to move. And those ripples get sent out to your fingers and your toes. Slowly moving the toes, moving the fingers, the wrists, the ankles. And then in your own way, finding your way to seated, taking your time, maybe laying over on your side for a few breaths. Choosing how you'd like to make your way back to a seated position. We'll all meet there. As you find your way to your seated shape, making yourself comfortable, and then once again bringing your attention to the area of your hips, your sacrum, that orange basin of water in your pelvis. Enjoying a couple slow, deep breaths here. Feeling that cool, calm center of gravity in your body. Source of healing. And as your next inhale arrives, the arms reach outward and upward above the head. Exhale, hands to your heart center, gently bowing your head in gratitude for this cooling, calming vinyasa practice. And thank you for joining me. Namaste.